Hey guys, welcome back to the Low Action. I've got a great video for you today. Today we're going to talk about a sweet bass, man. You're going to love it. This is a Sire M7, the Marcus Miller M7 second generation 5-string. This thing is freaking sweet. It is a tone monster. We're going to talk about that today. So hang out, man. It's going to be fun. I first came across Sire when I've been looking around for like a modern style bass with humbuckers, just to have something around the house for recording, for practicing, things like that. And I first came across these basses and I wasn't too sure about them. They looked cool, they had a lot of features, but you know, it's a lot of money to pay for a foreign-made bass. You know, I think they're made in Indonesia or something like that. You know, but I was looking. That's the kind of the price point I was looking in. So I was looking at Ibanez and things like that. My nephew plays in a band called The Breaks, and they just recorded their first record. A link to that record and to The Breaks will be in the description below. Check them out. They're awesome, great musicians. But my nephew's playing bass, and he really needed a new bass. I bought him a new amp so he could start gigging, you know, so he had something big enough to gig with. But he really needed a new bass. And I came across the Sire M series in black, and I said, hey, you know, I asked him if he was interested in these, and, you know, he said, oh, they got great reviews. Yeah, I would love it. So I ordered an M2. For him in black from the Chicago Music Exchange. And it arrived, and I gave him a call, and I said, look, your bass is here, but I'm going to go over it. I'm going to set it up, make sure everything's okay, and then I'll bring it over to you, you know. So I pulled it out of the box, and this bass, first of all, was stunning to look at. It had a beautiful, flat, black finish with a little natural wood grain binding, gorgeous, and the action was beautiful on it. The intonation was perfect. The damn thing was in tune out of the box, and I was playing it going, I love this bass. It is awesome. I think I'm gonna order one for myself. So that's what I did. I decided right then and there that the Sire M series is exactly what I'm looking for to have around the house for recording and practicing. And I placed an order, and I went to their website and I ordered the M7, which is the model up from what I bought my nephew. I got the 5-string version. I got all the bells and whistles. At the time, I bought the most expensive bass they offered. And you aren't going to believe the price I paid for it. So, and I got the second generation M7 Swamp Ash natural finish 5-string. And it's awesome, man. We're going to get into this guitar right now. So what do we have here? This is the second generation Sire M7, Marcus Miller M7 in 5-string. What they give you is a Swamp Ash body. You got a hard maple top and a nice flame wood grain on there. And they did the same thing with a matching headstock with a nice flame maple on the headstock. It is a bone nut, an ebony fingerboard, and it has rolled fretboard edges. That's something you only see on higher end and custom guitars. It's a little more of a comfortable feel around your hands. It's a one-piece maple neck, and what you have here is a 5-string bass, and it's a 35-inch scale. That tends to put a lot of pressure on the neck and could bend the wood, could warp the wood, things of that nature. So what they do is you have the truss rod going down the center, and then on each side of the truss rod you have two carbon fiber reinforcement rods on each side of the truss rod. So it basically keeps your neck straight, keeps things playing great. And much like the one I bought for my nephew, I've pulled this guy out of the box, and the action was great. It played great. I've never had any problems with it. So, you got a bone nut, just some geared tuners, no big deal there. A custom big mass bridge that you could do string through body or top load. And one cool thing, attention to detail, the compartment covers for your electronics and for your battery, these are actually ebony. These are wood, which is kind of cool. They cut those. So you've got premium quality wood. You got quality things like the rolled fretboard edges and a little binding on here, the hard rock maple top. All things you would find on higher end custom basses. Now the electronics, that's something that it's a whole different world. This freaking bass is a tone monster. If you are ever in the market for a bass that, one bass that could cover anything, this is it. This bass does everything. They spared no expense in these electronics. What you have is the Marcus Miller Pure H Revolution pickups, which are basically custom U.S. enamel coil humbuckers. It's an 18-volt system. It's an active bass, so it does run on two 9-volt batteries. And then you have the Heritage 3 preamp, which we're going to get into. Basically, what they give you is coil tapping capabilities. It's active, it's passive, anything you can think of tone-wise, you can get from this bass. So to have something around for practicing or recording, if I want to learn a song that has a certain bass sound, there's no doubt, other than fretless, I'm getting it from this bass. All these knobs and controls, let's get into that now. It's intense, man. Check it out. First, we have the Master Volume, Master Tone stacked pot. Master Volume is just that, a volume control. The Master Tone works with both active and passive modes, which is interesting. It's not something you normally get in an active bass. So it kind of opens up the tonal possibilities of this bass when you have both the active preamp plus an overall tone knob of the bass that is completely usable. Next to the volume knob, you have the pickup blend knob. Basically, in the center, you have both pickups on. There's a little notch there. Turn it one way, you increase the volume of the neck pickup. Turn it the other way, you increase the volume of the bridge pickup. Pretty standard stuff. You all know how that works. Next to the pickup blend knob, you have the active treble boost and cut. Depending whether you're boosting or cutting, you're going to gain or lose 15 decibels of higher frequencies. The next knob is another stacked knob and another innovation for Sire guitars. It's the stacked middle boost cut / frequency knob. The bottom ring is the middle frequency, which varies from 80 Hz to 2000 Hz. So you can dial in the frequency you want to boost or cut, and then the top is the boost and cut. And then you're boosting and cutting 13 decibels from the top knob. The next knob is the active bass boost and cut, which is boosting and cutting 20 decibels of the lower frequencies. Above the knobs, you'll notice 3 little toggle switches. The first one is a 2-way toggle switch, and that switches the bass from active mode to passive mode. In passive mode, you bypass the preamp and essentially the batteries. If you're at a gig and your batteries die, you can switch it right over into passive mode and continue to play mid-song if you'd like. Here's where things get interesting. The next 2 switches are 3-way toggle switches, and one is assigned to each pickup. In the down position, you're running the humbuckers in series mode. That is the full, loud, beefy humbucker sound. In the middle position, it's single coil mode, which pulls from the outer coils of the humbuckers, giving you more of a vintage jazz bass type sound. In the upward position, you're in parallel mode, which kind of gives you a single coil, cleaner, brighter sound, but with the hum canceling properties of a humbucker, just with less output. So you can imagine a preamp like that with high-grade wood, ebony fingerboard, bone nut. This thing's going to sound great, and it does. I'm going to give you some sound samples now. If I were to go through every sound that this bass is capable of, we'll be here all weekend, and I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the 3 pickup positions, the neck pickup, both pickups, and the bridge pickup. I'm going to do it in humbucker mode and single coil mode. The bass will be passive. I see no point in going active. I can boost bass, I can boost treble, things like that. You're not going to hear much of a difference in video. So I'm going to run it passive. I usually roll the tone about 75%, just back a little bit, mainly because it's a very bright bass and things get to be a little tinny and punchy, and a lot of the finger noise, I play with my fingers, so a lot of that's going to come through. So I kick the tone back and just have it, I kick it back about 25%. And I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to run direct into my DAW, and this is what you get. Here you go. Let's give it a listen. So that is my Sire M7 second generation 5-string. It's a great guitar. As I said before, you're not going to believe the price I paid for this thing. I mean, I don't know what you would expect when you have rolled fingerboards, ebony fingerboard, bone net, high quality woods, custom electronics. You would think this guitar would be $2,500. No, it comes in around $950. If you get an alder body and some different color options, I think they're $850, and that's for a 5-string, a little less for a 4-string. They also have the V series, which is modeled after a jazz bass, and P series, which, yep, you guessed it, is modeled after a precision bass. I also learned that they are about to launch the Larry Carlton Signature Series with 3 new models of 6-string guitars. An H Series, which is like a 335, an Larry Carlton S Series, which is like a Strat, and an L Series, which is like an Les Paul. They look freaking awesome. If it's anything like this, the quality should be there. And if you're looking for like an intermediate Les Paul style or 335 style or something, I would definitely look into the Larry Carlton Sires because they just make great guitars. I've been extremely happy with this one. It's been an awesome guitar for me. So yeah, that's it. Sire, Marcus Miller. When Marcus Miller got together with Sire and put together a quality instrument at a lower price, so poor guys like me can get into some decent guitars, I would say they were successful. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you don't mind. Yeah, I'm going to play my Sire, man. You're welcome to hang out if you like. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Let's dance.